Good evening. Once again, this is Brainstorms, and I'm Jack Jersawitz. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you know where my car keys are? I can't find them.
I could say, but I won't get that coarse. I tell you where to look for them. But there's the telephone. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Jack, what do you think about the state of Israel?
I think the state of Israel is occupying the lands of the Palestinians. That if there's going to be a state of Israel, it has to be a, what's the word I'm looking for, a state for all people and not a religious state. And that the Palestinians and the Jews and anybody else that wants to live there should live there peacefully.
Are you Jewish?
My parents were. I'm an atheist.
Figures, you commie fucking bastard!
Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, Jack. I've been watching CNN, and I was just wondering how long is your penis?
Excuse me?
How long is your?
I have an answer for that too, but it's not very polite and beyond where I'd like to go on this show. One could say as long as he is tall. Good representation. Let's go to the phone. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, sure. I just want to clarify. Earlier, did you call for the President of the United States to be hung?
After trial, yes. After trial, conviction.
You are advocating that the President of the United States be killed.
After trial and conviction, absolutely.
Really? Well, I have two things for you. Number one, the Secret Service should get on your butt.
They better bring the
Two,
warrant.
get a new outfit, girl!
Secret Service has visited us before. They always get asked, do you have a warrant? And they always say no. And I say, well, there's the door. You know what to do. Leave. Actually, my language isn't quite that polite. Good evening. You're on Brainstorm.
What's your favorite laxative?
Yeah. These guys don't go away, do they? We're going to have to do the research. We're going to have to find out who they are and make sure they get turned off. Make sure they find it's not productive. We can always go talk to the police and talk about harassing phone calls and see what the police will say about that and see what Bell South will say about that. It should be amusing. Things said here. Good evening, Ron.
Hello?
Yep. But we're here for anybody else. You keep dialing, you'll get in around these cretins, around these young goons whose only intent is to please themselves. And that means ultimately to serve the state in whatever repressive measures it will bring against its opponents. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say I love the show. Long-time watchers, my first time calling in. I just want to say I think it's representative of U.S. treatment, U.S. foreign policy regarding Israel during the '72 Olympics when they legalized Olympic butt darts. Quit calling all of you!
Yes, that's the way it works, guys. Let's go to the phone. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, I like the new technology with the website of the camera. That's kind of cool.
Well, we can do that. It's very bad, though, because we don't really get a good image.
Not bad. I just want to say you were criticizing the people that calling in and pranking you, and I find it rather weird that you were criticizing the president and the attorney general for throwing people in jail, and you're talking about throwing people that are prank calling in jail.
No, I wasn't going to throw them in jail. I was going to do everything I could to find out who they are.
Could you pull up a website for me?
Why?
It's called FuckYouJack.com.
Oh, yes. That's these cretins out here. Yeah, we'd like to know where they are and who they are. That might make some sense. I see we have a phone call. Let's see who's on.
Yeah, okay, Jack.
Audio down.
Okay,
Control room crazy. Turn on the TV.
yeah, no, I think it's a problem in your control room, Jack.
No, it isn't.
How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Great. Listen, now, just want to tell you that keep that furniture. It's real. And the concrete reminds me of your fucking
Yeah. That's one of the concrete heads out there in TV land who has nothing better to do than demonstrate his intellectual capacity by calling in here and harassing us periodically. And let's see who this is. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Hello?
Yes.
What is this TV about?
Well, if you'll sit there and listen a little bit, you'll find out what it's about, okay? Yeah. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Jack?
Yeah, turn your TV down, please.
Yeah, I think you're having problems on your end there. Just
No?
have a question there. Can I borrow one of them pens in your pocket?
Yeah. Yep. That's unfortunately the intellectual tenor of many of what this school system turns out. They don't do a good job on training people to think and deal with serious issues. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
You are so fine.
We don't really need that. And all we have is some clowns that want to make fun on the channel. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yes, hello, kind sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Just a question for you about your show. Why are you such a fucking idiot?
Well, we really don't need to reply to that kind of thing. I think the audience is capable of judging who is what here. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Here's a brainstorm for you, man. I cry when...
What are you going to do? Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
What exactly is the issue we're talking about?
Well, if you'd shut up for a while and listen, you might find out. That's the way it goes, guys. You might get an education, even. Those of you who have nothing better to do than make funny calls. Good evening, you're on Brainstorm.
Yes, how are you today? There's a woman that keeps calling up and asking you about your show. Why do you refuse to answer her questions? She's trying to further and understand about your show, and I understand your show, but why
I'll do
are you
it.
so fucking ugly?
There we go. Good evening, you're on Brainstorm.
Yeah, as far as the Palestinian situation in the Middle East, question, Jack, I think, by the way, you're still having some audio problems. You might want to tell your technical people it's very low. The signal is very low. But as far as the Middle East question is, I think it would be helpful maybe if you went over to the Middle East and you could be fuckface of Arabia!
Yep. Yep. That's the way it goes. And these are the kinds of cretins that make it possible for the Bushes in the world to exist, for the Bushes in the world to carry out their murders, and all the other things that governments like the U.S. government do. If some of you, call in, then these cretins that are calling in and harassing us won't get through as often, or perhaps at all. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching CNN today, and I cry when I masturbate.
What can one say to that? I can think of all kinds of rejoinders to that kind of idiot. None of them polite, none of them nice, and probably none of them suitable for the kind of audience that we know we have besides these folks. Let's go to the phone. Good evening, you're on Brainstorm.
Yes, sir.
Turn your TV down, please.
Yeah, I'd like to play you something and see if you can guess who this is, please.
Oh, it's our boys again. It's these young cretins out there who are playing games. They're still with us today. That's a long attention span. I wonder what they're on. That's the way it goes. Oh, there's the phone again. We rather talk to people than read. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
'Cause I'm your lady.
Well, what are you going to do, guys? Some folks are serious and some aren't. Phone again. We're not going to get to read tonight. We've already done it. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, in regards to weapons of mass destruction, I was reading an article in Roundtable Thursday by Jeff Taves, and I found interesting what he had to say, which was, NBA!
Cretans are still with us, huh? That's the way it goes. We live in a world with fools. As well. That's the way it goes. Phone is at it again. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Hey, what's up, man? What do you think about Cuba? I want you all to repeat that.
Excuse me? Excuse me? I didn't catch you.
You're a fat fuck.
Oh, well. Same guys, they changed the voice. Same cretins. Same mindless, probably drunk or on drugs. Folks that have nothing better to do than call in here and harass us. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, that's Uncle Joe.
And there we go again. I could ignore this. Hate to. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms. We will ignore it for a little while. Let me go to the phone. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would want to smoke a bowl with me tonight.
My what? Oh, must be one of my GSU friends. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms.
Yeah, I was wondering how much pot you smoke.
Well, you know something? I've done a little bit of that in the past as an experiment, and it has no effect.
Well, the reason I asked that is you're fucking wacko.
You think so? I mean, I wish I had a way to turn his number around and let everybody out there know so you can all call him and tell him what a wacko he is. You know, wacko's a matter of taste sometimes. That's the way it goes. Good evening, you're on Brainstorms. Good evening.
You're a blooming idiot.
Excuse me? Couldn't hardly hear him. I think he called us an idiot or something.
He didn't say anything.
Nothing important anyway. But that's the way it goes. Well, guys, those are always interesting.
We're off the air.
Oh, we're off.